Welcome to Storywise Nonfiction Article Level 1. Make sure to check the video's description for vocabulary lists and explanations. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Dinosaurs. Did you ever think about the largest dinosaur that ever lived? What would it be like? Scientists think they may have found it. Yes, that's right. In a country called Argentina, researchers believe they have found the bones of the biggest dinosaur ever. Think about that. A dinosaur bigger than all the dinosaurs we know. This is very exciting. It can help us learn about these giant animals that lived on our planet a long time ago. Where did the scientists find these bones? They found them in a place called Patagonia. Maybe you are wondering, what is Patagonia? It is a big area at the bottom of South America. Most of it is in Argentina, but some of it is in another country called Chile. It is a very beautiful place with big mountains, wide fields, and the sea. But not many people live there. So, dinosaur bones could hide there for a very, very long time. What kind of dinosaur was it? The researchers think these dinosaur bones come from a dinosaur called a titanosaur. When you hear titanosaur, you might think of something really big, and you are right. Titanosaurs got their name from the Titans, who were giant, strong gods in old stories from Greece. Just like the Titans were the biggest gods, titanosaurs were some of the biggest dinosaurs. But scientists do not know why these dinosaurs were so big. This is one of the many things about dinosaurs that researchers want to find out. So, this is our starting point. In the lonely lands of Patagonia, Argentina, researchers may have found the bones of the biggest dinosaur to ever walk on Earth. But we are just starting our journey into the world of these giant animals. There is a lot more to learn about them, where they lived, and why they were so big. As we go on, we will learn more about these dinosaurs, the places they lived, and the things they left behind. Let's get ready for a big adventure back in time, to the world of the biggest dinosaurs. Have you ever wondered about dinosaurs? These big creatures lived on Earth a very, very long time ago. In fact, they were here for about 175 million years. Can you imagine that? During this long time, many types of dinosaurs lived. About 150 million years ago, there were dinosaurs called sauropods. Sauropods had long necks and long tails. They liked to eat plants. And guess what? There might have been more than 100 types of sauropods. But after some time, a new kind of dinosaur came. These were the titanosaurs. Titanosaurs were a bit like sauropods. They also had long necks and tails, and they liked plants too. But there were some differences. For example, sauropods had neck bones with holes in them. But the neck bones of titanosaurs were solid, without holes. Titanosaurs also had a more bendy backbone. People have found titanosaurs' bones everywhere in the world, even in very cold places like Antarctica. But the biggest ones were found in Patagonia. This is where the dinosaur we are talking about was found. Titanosaurs probably lived in big groups. So, now we know a bit about dinosaurs. We learned about the sauropods and the titanosaurs. We know they looked a bit the same, but they were not the same. In the next part, we will talk about the titanosaurs found in Argentina. We will learn how people study their bones. Let's continue our journey. Did you know that dinosaur bones have been found all over the world? Yes, even in very cold places like Antarctica. This is true for titanosaur fossils as well. Scientists have found these dinosaur bones on every continent. That means titanosaurs lived in many different places. This gives us a big picture of how widespread these dinosaurs were. But did you know that the biggest titanosaur fossils were found in Patagonia, the same place we talked about earlier? Yes, in this faraway land, researchers found the most enormous titanosaur bones. Let's talk a bit more about that. In the year 1987, a farmer in Argentina found a big bone. It was so big that it took scientists several years to dig up this bone and others found near it. These bones were different. They were from a new kind of titanosaur, a dinosaur they had not seen before. They named this dinosaur Argentinosaurus, after the country where it was found. Scientists think that Argentinosaurus was a slow dinosaur. They believe it walked at about the same speed as a person walking slowly, about 5 miles, or 8 kilometers per hour. But they are not sure how this dinosaur held its neck. Did it hold it up high to eat leaves from tall trees? Or did it hold it out straight? Scientists are still trying to find out. They do not have a full Argentinosaurus skeleton to help them know for sure. A few years later, in 2014, another farmer in Patagonia found more dinosaur bones. This farmer saw part of a big bone sticking out of the ground. It was part of a leg bone, or femur. It took scientists many days to dig out this one bone. It was bigger than a person. Over a year and a half, the scientists dug up more than 200 dinosaur bones. Around 130 of these were from 6 different titanosaurs. These bones were a bit different from Argentinosaurus. So scientists said it was a new kind of titanosaur. They named it Patagonia, after the place where it was found. From looking at its bones, scientists think Patagonia was about 121 feet, 37 meters, long and weighed about 69 tons, 62 metric tons. This dinosaur was a bit longer than the biggest whales we have today. But whales are much heavier. So how do scientists find out what the dinosaur looked like just from its bones? Well, they use the size and shape of the bones to guess what the rest of the dinosaur looked like. It's like trying to finish a big puzzle, but you only have a few pieces. You use the pieces you have to guess what the finished puzzle looks like. Now, let's talk about a very special titanosaur called Argentinosaurus. This dinosaur is special because it was one of the biggest dinosaurs we know about. Let's find out more about how this dinosaur was discovered and what it might have looked like. The story of Argentinosaurus starts with a farmer in Argentina in 1987. One day, this farmer found a very big bone. It was so big that he knew it had to be from a dinosaur. He called scientists, who came to see the bone. The scientists were very excited. They spent several years digging up this bone and other bones they found near it. These bones were not like any other dinosaur bones they knew. They realized that these bones were from a new kind of titanosaur. They named this new dinosaur Argentinosaurus, after the country where it was found. Argentinosaurus was a huge dinosaur. Scientists think it was between 100 and 130 feet long, 30 to 40 meters. That's longer than a basketball court. And it was not a fast dinosaur. It probably walked slowly, at about 5 miles, or 8 kilometers per hour. That's about as fast as a person walking slowly. One big question about Argentinosaurus is about its neck. Scientists do not know how this dinosaur held its neck. Some scientists think Argentinosaurus held its neck up high. This would let it eat leaves from tall trees. But other scientists think this dinosaur held its neck out straight, like a horse. Why is this important? It's because the position of the neck can tell us a lot about how the dinosaur lived and what it ate. If Argentinosaurus held its neck up high, it would need a very strong heart. The heart would need to pump blood up to the dinosaur's head, which is very high up. But if the dinosaur held its neck out straight, it would not need such a strong heart. This is why the question of the neck's position is so important. To find out the answer, scientists need more bones of Argentinosaurus. If they can find a complete skeleton, they can learn a lot more about this amazing dinosaur. But even without a complete skeleton, scientists have learned a lot from the bones they have found. After talking about Argentinosaurus, let's now move on to another huge dinosaur, known as Patagodon. The discovery of Patagodon was quite recent and very exciting for scientists. In the year 2014, a farmer in Patagonia noticed something unusual sticking out of the ground. It was a small part of a very large bone, called a femur or leg bone. The farmer called in scientists to help. They spent many days digging carefully around this bone. What they found was incredible. The bone was longer than a person is tall. Over the next 18 months, they found 223 more dinosaur bones. About 130 of these bones were from 6 different titanosaurs. The other bones belonged to different types of dinosaurs. The scientists studied these bones carefully. They realized that the bones were a bit different from Argentinosaurus, which was the biggest dinosaur they knew about before. These bones were from a new type of titanosaur. The scientists named it Patagodon. Patagodon was a very big dinosaur. The scientists used the size of its bones to guess how big the whole dinosaur was. They think that Patagodon was about 121 feet, 37 meters, long and weighed about 62 metric tons, 69 tons. To understand how big that is, think about a blue whale. Blue whales are the biggest animals alive today. A blue whale is a bit shorter than Patagodon, but it weighs a lot more. A blue whale can weigh up to 173 metric tons, 190 tons. So, how is Patagodon different from Argentinosaurus? Both are titanosaurs, and both are very big. But the bones of Patagodon are a bit different in shape from the bones of Argentinosaurus. This is why scientists think that Patagodon is a different type of titanosaur. Now that we have learned about Argentinosaurus and Patagodon, let's move on to the newest discovery. This discovery is exciting because it might be of a dinosaur even bigger than Patagodon. Can you imagine that? This new discovery happened only a few years ago. The researchers are still working on it. They have found some bones that they believe are from a titanosaur. But they think this titanosaur might be a new type that hasn't been found before. Isn't that exciting? What have they found so far? They have found 24 bones from the dinosaur's tail and its pelvis. The pelvis is the part of the body near the hips. But the researchers haven't found the leg bones yet. Leg bones are important because they can help guess how big the dinosaur was. Now you might wonder, how big was this dinosaur? Well, the researchers are not sure yet. But they think this dinosaur might have been even bigger than Patagodon. Remember, Patagodon was about 121 feet, 37 meters, long. So, this new dinosaur might be even longer than that. The work to dig out these dinosaur bones is still going on. It's a slow process because it's important to be very careful. We don't want to damage the bones, right? Also, the place where the bones were found is not easy to get to. This makes the work even slower. But even though the work is slow, the researchers are excited. Each new bone they find can give them more information about this dinosaur. They are looking forward to finding more bones and learning more about this new titanosaur. We have now learned a lot about titanosaurs, from Argentinosaurus to Patagotitan, and the newest discovery. But why are these discoveries important? Why do we spend so much time and effort to find and study these old bones? Let's think about that. When we find a new dinosaur, it's like finding a new piece of a big puzzle. This puzzle is the story of life on Earth. Each dinosaur bone gives us a little more information about this story. It can tell us what kind of dinosaurs lived, what they ate, how they moved, and many other things. By studying these bones, we can learn more about how dinosaurs lived and how they changed over time. This is called evolution. The discoveries of Argentinosaurus, Patagotitan, and the new dinosaur are important parts of this puzzle. They help us understand more about titanosaurs, a group of the biggest dinosaurs. Each new discovery brings us a step closer to understanding how these incredible creatures could grow so big. Now, what would it mean if we found a dinosaur bigger than Patagotitan? It would be a big surprise. It would mean that dinosaurs could grow even bigger than we thought. This could lead to new questions, like, how could a dinosaur grow so big? How did it move? What did it eat? Finding a bigger dinosaur could also mean new challenges. For example, it could be harder to dig out the bones without damaging them. And it could take more time and work to study the bones and learn about the dinosaur. But it would also be a great opportunity. It would give scientists a chance to learn new things and to solve new puzzles. In the end, these discoveries show us that the story of dinosaurs is far from over. There are still many dinosaur bones waiting to be found, and each one could bring a new surprise. Who knows what we will discover next? As we continue to explore and learn, we can look forward to many more exciting discoveries in the future.